Holly Duckworth here, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique Practitioner, Level 3. And a few weeks ago, I uploaded a video that talked about how time is an illusion. And yeah, that's a fun thing to say, and physicists have proven that. And, it's kind of hard to wrap our minds around some of these quantum phenomenon, like time is an illusion. And I wanted to kind of like break it down into, well, what does that mean to me practically? How do I use that in my daily life? And so I want to talk today about how mass is also an illusion, but talk to you in a way that also breaks that crazy quantum physics phenomenon down into practical matters for you. So yep, time is an illusion and mass is an illusion. And our quantum physicists have proven that in the laboratory and brought that into alignment with what those of us practicing metaphysics have known for a while as well. So what does that mean? Mass is an illusion. So if we take something tangible, right? Something that's material. So I want to take the table that this camera is resting on right now. And if we take that table, we go down into the molecule, and then in the molecule we go down to the atom, and then we go down to the quarks and neutrinos that are inside that atom, inside the electrons and the neutrons and the protons. What our physicists find is nothing. There's no mass. There's just energy, and there's just energy spinning in different directions. And so even something seemingly as solid as a table, there's no mass. It's just energy. And a whole bunch of energy vibrating and spinning in a certain way. So mass is an illusion. Well, what does that mean? How do I use that on my day-to-day basis? And I've got at least two ways you can do that. The first is to know that the way that I see anything that is mass is different than how anybody else sees it. So the way I experience the table, because it isn't really mass, it isn't really solid, it's just a whole bunch of energy. The only way I can experience the table is through my five senses, is with my touch, with my sight, with my hearing, with my nose, with my tongue. And the way those senses work for me is different than for you. And so I say, some people love pickles and some people hate pickles. It doesn't have anything to do with the pickles. It's the way you taste. It's your perception of taste. And so because my five senses perceive differently than yours, the way I perceive table is different than you. And so what that means is I'm really kind of living in my own universe. And my universe is different than your universe because my sense receptors are different than your sense receptors. And so then the way I sense that energy, not mass, that energy that is table, is going to be different than you. So there's no such thing as objective reality. I can see my table, you're going to see your table, and we're going to see them differently, and that's okay. And so when we get into arguments or discussions with somebody about, oh, this was that and this was that, in your universe, yeah, but maybe not in their universe. So that's number one. There's no such thing as objective reality. How I sense table is different than how you sense table. There is no table. It's just a whole bunch of energy that formulates to something that we call table. The second important takeaway to our daily life is that nothing is permanent. This table, think about it, this energy that is table. At one point in time, it was a nut, a seed in the ground that grew into a tree that then was cut and turned into lumber, and then the lumber was turned into table. And then at some point in time, the table's going to disintegrate. This wood isn't going to be here 4 million years from now. And so everything that we see as mass, because it's energy, is always in a state of integration or disintegration. It's always changing form. Slightly disintegrating, maybe really, really slowly in the form of a table. But it's been different things. This energy has been in different forms. It was a living tree at one time. And so if I begin to expand my thought process and then begin to understand that all of the mass that I come in contact with, cars and buildings and spoons and bowls and all of these things that I use on a daily basis, they were something else at some point in time. That energy was in a different form. And it will be again. It'll move again. And so everything is impermanent, and we're just seeing one small snapshot in our life of one form that energy may be in. So then we can really get an appreciation for impermanence. And having an appreciation for impermanence then allows us to appreciate the moment. This table will only be this way right now. Tomorrow, it'll be slightly more disintegrated, and the day after that, a little more, and the day after that, a little more. In 100 years, it probably won't exist. And so we can begin to understand, because mass is an illusion, everything is just energy, that everything is always changing shape, always changing form. And then we can begin to appreciate how special today is. So just a couple of practical points on how mass is an illusion. Thank you for listening in.